All right, so the background, a little different because I now have two potential filming locations, and this one has books I like but don't love as much as the ones that I put downstairs. I do think it's very colorful. I don't hate how this has happened. I have put very little thought into a lot of it. Like this shelf up here, these were books that were on the ground that needed to go on a shelf. There's no order to this. This is still a Sanderson shelf. This has a lot of hardbacks that I love, and my other copy of Mask and Mirrors, and then here's some T. Kingfisher, Jemison, my UK paperbacks that still all stacked together. It's still a little chaotic, but I'm glad I kept this because today we're going to talk about 26 physical TBR books that I want to get to in 2026, and all my TBR books live up here in this office. I have not moved the TBR cart downstairs, nor do I think I will unless I need to use this room for something else. I still like this room having a potential studio quality to it, and it keeps the books safe from my gremlin cats, because they are gremlins. So yeah, I have 3 categories for these 26 books. I wasn't going to do 26 books, but then once I sat here ready to film, I'm like, okay, so what books do I have? How many do I have? And I had 26, and I'm like, perfect. The thumbnail writes itself, you know? So let's talk about it. I got 12 books for the freshly read TBR spin that I did last year and loved. Well, this year and loved. And so I'm going to do it next year. I'm just already in January headspace, apparently. I have 5 books that if I do not read them, they will explode, as in I will get rid of them. I've had them for too long. I need to attempt them, see if I like them, look and see if other books in the series are things people like. They aren't even necessarily books that I planned on owning either. Like, I have not tried these authors, etc. Only 5, because I feel like that's a reasonable number. And then I've got like 9 arcs and finished copies that were sent to me by publishers that like I want to read, hence why I requested them, but I haven't gotten to them yet. And that does not include the e-arc TBR, which is not outlandish, but still exists and is ever growing. So let's start first with my TBR spin books, because those have me always very excited, and I based those off books I bought from bookstores for my physical TBR. So these are books that I spent money on and said, I want to read these. And so these are 12 of them. In no particular order. The order is what the stack currently is. So one I have is called Pink Slime. It's by an Uruguayan author. It's definitely speculative literary sci-fi, I think, about a contagion. I bought this when I was in Michigan at literary bookstore. The bookmark's still in here. I am not anywhere into this book. There's just a bookmark in it. So that's one I would like to get to, especially because one of my challenges to myself is to read books from authors in different countries in South America, and Uruguay is always kind of hard to track down. This will be my second one. I've got a Sue Burke. This is Immunity Index. I bought this a little over a year ago, I think, maybe about a year ago. No, over a year ago. This was 2 summers ago. I just looked at the back. Yeah, I bought this in Toronto. This was a Toronto book that I haven't read yet. I just really like Sue Burke. I mean, she's now prominently on the shelf over here. And actually, I learned recently that she translates a lot of Spanish fiction in addition to writing her own science fiction, which is really interesting to me. I might want to try and see what translated works by her are out. I learned that from one of my friends who reads like older Spanish translated works. This is a Contagion story. I kind of like Contagion stories sometimes. I also have Come Closer, which has been on my TBR for a very long time. It was one of the first horror books that was ever recommended to me by Rachel at Shades of Orange. And I bought this in New Orleans this year. So it's not been on my TBR that long, but it's short and I like having some horror books around. I also have a Sarah Pinsker, and I think I bought this. Yes, this was bought at Loganberry Bookstore. I like Sarah Pinsker. I've read her short stories, I've read a novella, and I think my favorite is still the novel We Are Satellites. This is, I think, not rebellion, but maybe revolutionary in music and art. And honestly, I've been in that headspace lately. Right now I'm reading a short story anthology that's really about activism or how you exist in tumultuous times. And I think this is going to be a sci-fi in conversation with that, like contemporary-ish. So yeah, it's definitely like a government that's stepped over the lines. Like I like Sarah Pinsker. This book, I'm excited. It's a duology, and the second book is, I think, almost done being written by this author. But this is, I forget where she's from in the Caribbean, but she's a Caribbean SFF author, R.S.A. Garcia, and I do follow her on Bluesky, so that's how I know that the second book's coming out soon. But first, can we just like marvel at this cover? I got this from Max Books in Cleveland because I was doing the indie bookstore crawl. I have a whole video on that, and this was the book that was there that I was most interested in because of the cover, because I've read short stories, I believe, by her, or I've at least heard about her from other Caribbean SFF authors, and I like Caribbean SFF. I don't really know what this is about. I'm excited that we'll get the sequel soon, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to read the first book. I'm not someone who minds reading first books in series. I'll either reread them if I forgot something, or I'll find a recap. Like, that's just who I am. I totally get it if you're not that way. There's nothing wrong with how you choose to consume art. So yeah, this is so pretty. And I'm excited that I think it's a duology, so only 2 books, and that we're going to get the second one soon. Another Contagion book I have, and again, another book that's like kind of been on my TBR for a really long time, even though I only physically got it last year, is the Andromeda Strain by Michael Crichton. So I think I've had this on my like Goodreads TBR since I had a Goodreads TBR. I've read Jurassic Park by this author, and I've been wanting to read this one. Like, I thought I'd like this one. I like Contagion stories. I wasn't really interested in any of the other concepts he had for his sci-fi thrillers. And then COVID happened, and so then I wasn't really in a Contagion headspace, and now I'm kind of back, and I bought this last year on my birthday at the Loganberry bookstore. This is truly like, I bought this because I know I need to get back to this author. And I bought this at Hexagon Books, actually my first time at Hexagon Books, and that is The House of the Spirits by Isabel Allende, who is a Chilean author, very famous. This is probably her most famous work, I think. And I want to read it. I think it's generational magical realism, Latin fiction, and I want to read it. I love, I think it's The Petal of the Sea. I have it behind me somewhere. The Long Petal of the Sea, which people don't even adore that book by her, but I loved it. So I can't imagine like this not landing for me in some way. It's longer, but I also just like, I love pachinko. I love generational stories, and I'm pretty sure that's what this is. So I got that. We have another horror that I believe I bought at Loganberry Books. Yeah, Loganberry. I Was a Teenage Slasher by Stephen Graham Jones, who has quickly become one of my favorite authors. Like, there's no other way to say it. I have most of his books on my shelves downstairs. Almost every book I've read has been at least a 4.5 star by him. Like, yeah. So this is I Was a Teenage Slasher. He wrote this before writing the last book in the Angel of Indian Lick trilogy to like get back into the groove, and I'm just really excited for the voiciness that I'm guaranteed to get from this character. I'm very pumped about it. I'm kind of sad I haven't gotten to it yet, but also rainy day book right here. I got a British SFF author, Gareth L. Powell, Future's Edge. I bought this again from my indie bookstore crawl. It was one of those books I put into the sci-fi snubbed list of just like, you know, this is about dealing with the end of the world and saving the day, alien artifacts, architect, and it's not that long. I think it's like 300 pages. So, this is just an author that I feel like I should read. It's a pretty popular author, like not as popular as Adrian Tchaikovsky, but like in terms of European SFF, I feel like this is a blind spot for me. I then have a book that, again, has been on my TBR probably longer than I physically owned it, and I got this recommendation from Rachel on her channel, Kalanandi, and she only posts for Stitch and Bitches now, but this was a book she had talked about a while ago called China Mountain Zhang, and it's part of the Tor Essentials line, and I don't really know what it's about per se, but it's a shorter classic SFF that I wanted to get to, and again, I bought this on my indie bookstore crawl, I think at a bookstore in the Parma area. It was a large bookstore. I was kind of actually pretty impressed with it. It's a little far from me, so I won't get there that often, but that's how this ended up on the TBR. My friends and I try to go on a trip every year, and that's where I bought this book. We were in Chelsea, Michigan. And so I don't remember the name of the bookstore in Chelsea, Michigan, but there's one bookstore in Chelsea, Michigan. And we got Where the Axe is Buried by Ray Naylor. Another book I said was kind of snubbed for the SFF books of this year. I think it's a political sci-fi by this author. I have read his novella. I forget what the novella is called. They just have The Mountain of the Sea on the front, which is the octopus thriller. But I think this is political sci-fi, changing of government and regimes. And again, I think that creative space is where I'm sort of at. And then my last book for this spin wheel is going to be Metal from Heaven. I bought this at Black Cat Books and Oddities, which is in Medina, which is a really cool bookstore. They're like 2 houses and they have themed rooms. Like, just for the spectacle, I really recommend it. For me, it's hard to get to. Medina is like 45 minutes from me, which is not like hard, but it's like, it's not just down the street. A lot of these bookstores I go to are like down the street. This is a standalone industrial fantasy revolution book that has a very unique prose style. And it was on a lot of short lists and long lists for award season. So I still want to really give this a shot, but I am concerned about if my brain will mesh with it. But that's why it's perfect for like a TBR stack like this. So I'm really excited for those 12 books. Like, I'm really excited to see what the spinning wheel does and how that goes starting in January next year. Let's now pivot to books that these will explode if I don't pick them up. And if you hear like yelling in the background, Kieran is annoyed when I'm ever in here, but he cannot be trusted. He bites books. And one of my doors isn't closing right now, so it's whatever. Okay, so one of these, and like, I don't even know, where is this series? I think we finally got the second book. I don't think it's a duology, but if it is a duology, someone let me know. But this is The Stardust Thief, which I bought this book because I just like how it feels. This feels like a really nice book. It's heavy, it's thick, it takes up space. I like the texture of the dust jacket, but I don't even think the second book has the same like physical production. I actually also really like that in here, I got, apparently, when I first read this, I got 30 pages in. I do like that it has like these little interlude stories with some production, but, and man, you can tell I bought this a while ago because it's only $28. What a time. Like, that's still expensive for a hardback, but now like this book would be easily like $31 or something. But I don't know if the writing style was for me. I don't know where the series is going. I haven't really seen glowing reviews, so I haven't gotten to this. So I need to like give it 100 pages, see what I think. If I'm liking it, then I just keep going. If I'm still on the fence, see what people have been thinking about the rest of the series. Another one that's a classic, where is this series right now? And that is The City of Dusk. And I have a fancy Fairy Loot edition because I believe Evie sent this to me because she was not thinking this would be a series she would like. Now, just so we're clear, this is a stunning book. That's probably one of the reasons why I haven't gotten rid of it. I don't know if this is a trilogy or a duology. I don't know. Do we have another book in this series yet? I have no idea. I didn't really hear amazing things about this when it came out. I know it's like gods walking among men. We have different factions. It's more of like, it's not an urban fantasy, but it is like a metropolitan fantasy. It's like an ancient or an older type city, and so we're definitely in like a crowded area, sort of like thinking Mistborn-ish sort of thing. That's the vibe I get, especially from this cover. So I haven't tried it at all. I don't know if this writing style would work for me. I don't know where the series is, so I just need to give it 50 to 100 pages and see, is this for me? You know, try the pilot episode, so to speak. Another one, and like these, again, this is primarily, I haven't gotten rid of these because the covers are stunning and I just have no idea if I'll like it or not, but this is a generational story, and that is Bestiary, a novel. This is, I believe, a Taiwanese author, and just look at this cover. Stunning, right? Like, absolutely stunning. I think originally Evie sent this to me and the short story collection by this author because she had heard good things about the short story collection, and we have a lot of overlap in our short story tastes. You can tell it's been sitting in a pile for a while because it's got like, I can see dust on it in like a 90-degree angle. Not my favorite texture dust jacket, but like, so pretty. I don't think there's anything pretty inside of it. No, it's just a blue book. It's not bad though. But this is a story of 3 generations, Taiwanese American women, and I love a generational story, but I don't know if I like this author's writing style, and I haven't picked up either of these books, so I need to like force myself. The last 2, I have one that my mom and I got from like a blind date with a book. I feel like I should just try it. I don't have high hopes, but I should try it, and if I don't like it, get rid of it, and that's the Ruthless Lady's Guide to Wizardry. I don't know anything about this. I think it is, I don't know, 20th century, maybe 19th century historical. And I don't know if it's a cozy kind of murder mystery fantasy or if it's kind of more of a romance sort of thing. I don't know. If you've read this and like it, I think it's sapphic. I think that's the only thing I've kind of internalized. So I want to give that a go. And then this is an indie self-pub book called Half a Lion. I believe the author is from Cambodia. Is that something I'm making up? It's from a place in Africa, which does not narrow it down because we have like 54 some countries in Africa. And this copy does not really tell me a lot about the author in the back half. It does have pretty art though. Oh, here's an author's note. So yeah, I have this because Jashana tried this book and DNF'd it. That's why there's tabs in it. Those are her old tabs. And I wanted to read this a few years ago. And I just never got around to it. And again, it's been kind of languishing on my shelf. So I wanted to give it a go because I have it. So those are must try or they will self-destruct. And then my last stack, like I said, these are finished copies or physical arcs that I requested. One is, what is it in here? Oh, there's yeah, I read this note. I think I read this note. Anyways, this is the new Ken Liu. People have not been loving this. I love Ken Liu works, but a lot of people who are loving this don't love also love Ken Liu works. So like, it's a thriller sci-fi. We'll see how I feel about it. This is the new Niveau in the Great Gatsby world. This is a little itty bitty novella. I need to first read the Great Gatsby retelling, which I'm excited to read anyways before I get to this, because it's more of a companion. We've got a Kate Elliott. We got The Witch Road. This is the first in a series. I don't know if it's a duology or longer, but this is the first in a series. I have a big empty field of knowledge when it comes to Kate Elliott. I know she's very popular. Ken Liu loves Kate Elliott. A lot of people in my Discord love Kate Elliott. I haven't read Kate Elliott. So when they asked if I wanted to get an arc of this, I'm like, sure. So should try this. It's been out for a minute. We've got the newest H.G. Perry, who I read one of, I think it's a she. It's one of those classic H.G. I don't know if it's a girl. Okay, it's a woman. I read one of the Fairy Scholar Door earlier this year. Loved it. So I'm really excited to read this. And the comp has been Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell and Tale of Two Cities, which is not like a selling point for me per se, but like the fact that I just like had a 4.5-star experience with a different work from this author is just like, I'm down. I'm really down. I've got the newest book by the author of Leech, which people have not been vibing with, so I'm a little nervous, but like it's very pretty. And if you like centipedes, I actually don't know. Is there anything underneath? Oh, they even they embossed it on the front. You can't really see that because it's a black and it's embossed on there, but nice. I want to give this a go because I asked for it. And I liked Leech. Didn't love Leech, but I was really impressed with it. So I'm hoping that this is impressive to me as well. Probably, I thought about actually putting this in my, if I don't read this, it will explode stack because it has been a minute. But The West Passage, which was a debut 2 summers ago that I haven't gotten to yet. It was on a lot of short lists this year, and I did attempt it for those, but I just never got into it because it's a dense style for my brain. But I got this. It's eldritch horror, medieval fantasy sort of thing. And then these 3 are my newest acquisitions from publishers. This one came out, I got it last week. And this is the new Amal El-Mortar short story collection, which I'm really excited about because I really love one of the stories in here because I read it in The River Has Roots. It's called John Hollowback and the Witch, page 148. Really good. I don't know what this cover's doing. This cover is interesting to me. I have no idea what it's meant to be. Maybe if that's a titular story, yeah, it is. It's the first story in here. So maybe that'll help me make sense of this cover. But this is an arc. And then when the Goodreads Choice Awards came up and there were a bunch of books from Tor on the list, some of them people have been really loving lately, and I'm like, I should see if they have any copies left that they're giving out because I'm having some FOMO here. So one of the FOMOs, and this is not smart on my part, but people are loving it, and that is The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow. Now, the reason why I should be cautious about this is I don't really love 1,000 Doors of January. I did like A Spindle Splintered. I thought it was fun. I'm pretty sure that's this author. And I did read The Starling House, but didn't really love it. But again, I read The Starling House in a weird period of my life where the world was weird. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I read it in a day, which isn't a bad thing. But people are adoring this book, which I don't even know what it's about. End flap is map. End flap is map. The production on this book is pretty fun. I mean, I don't love sprayed edges because I'm weird and I don't like sprayed edges. Equal parts Arthurian send-up and time-traveling tragic romance? Okay. Again, don't really know what it's about. The hype, the FOMO. And then my last one is the new Mary Lou Red City. And it was a combination of a bunch of people who have read this, which isn't a whole lot, are this is my best book of the year. Tori Morrow says this was her best book of the year. My friend Jocelyn really likes it. And so I was getting FOMO. I never read her young adult stuff because she was popular in young adult when I just wasn't reading a lot of popular published things, or I was, but maybe more in the adult side. I don't know what I was doing. I was in college. I was doing something. But I was really curious about this. So yeah, I don't know what it's about. Alchemy and ambition, power and perfection, love and lies. Welcome to Angel City. Don't let it break your heart. So again, not that a lot of people have read this, but the people who have, it's really stuck with them. So yeah, that's my 26th read in 2026. And last year I was pretty successful. I don't know for sure how well I did, but I think I actually did really well. If not 100%, close enough to 100% that I consider it a win. I'll put the percentage here. But like, I remember I checked in earlier this year and I was like, dang, look at me go. So that's it for this. I'm now gonna try and put these back on the TBR cart. What are your plans for TBR reading in the new year? For me, I think this is a manageable type list. And honestly, I don't mind if they're shorter. It's just that this was what came together and it happened to be 26 and 2026. I truly didn't plan it that way. And if you just want to leave an emoji to let me know you're here. I mean, we already did red recently. Let's do a sword for the everlasting because I'm truly curious about this one. It's only 300 pages. She does write short books. I'll give Alex E. Harrow that. They're pretty short. Anyways, otherwise, like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you with the next one. Bye.